Hi everyone, thank you for watching today. I'm Brandon, aka Brandon the Deaf. Now, yes, you might be wondering if I sign. Yes, I know how to sign, but today I'm going to be voicing because that's my preference. So today's video is about jobs, and the reason why I wanted to bring up this is because I've noticed on my YouTube channel that I posted a video a while ago about what jobs can deaf people do. And that video has been gaining traction, so I felt like this would be a good time to talk about it. In my video, I share that deaf people can be anything. We can be actors, we can be musicians, we can be project managers, we can be software engineers, we can be mechanics, and on and on and on and on. There's no limit to what we can do as employment as a deaf and hard of hearing person. Okay, now you know, as a deaf person, we can do anything, okay? As long as we have the skill sets for it, we can do any job that's asked of us. Now, statistically speaking, 1 out of 2 deaf people are severely underemployed or they're unemployed. Now, why is that? It comes down to 4 reasons, okay? The first one, and this is the most obvious one, communication barriers and accessibility barriers. We live in a world that relies on spoken language, okay? That's always been the case. So in real time, in terms of jobs, access to sign language interpreters, real-time captioning, and any sort of communication access services is not always there. Now, many of you may be saying, okay, well, we have AI that's coming into the picture, and that's true, AI is coming into the picture. However, it is not entirely accurate, and it's not always appropriate for everyone. So that's the biggest barrier, is communications. The second one is employer misconceptions and stereotypes. And I'm going to talk about a real prime example that actually played out in real life in front of national and international news. In 1988, Gallaudet University, a prominent deaf university out in Washington, D.C., were in the process of selecting a new president to oversee the university system. It came down to 3 candidates, all of them highly qualified for the job, okay? One person was hearing, 2 were deaf. The board of trustees, after a long exhaustive search, decided to go with the hearing candidate. Now, despite the hearing candidate not knowing any sort of deaf culture, deaf awareness, or what have you, they felt that this person would be better suited for the job. Naturally, this did not sit well for the students, faculty, and staff of Gallaudet University. This led to huge protests, and you probably heard of it. It's called Deaf President Now. And they were just protesting all over the Capitol. And what also made that situation even worse is that one of the board of trustees, actually, she was the chair of the board of trustees, who had allegedly has stated deaf people are not ready to function in a hearing world. And unfortunately, still this in 2025, there are still some misconceptions about that today, and I haven't personally been affected by that. The third one is lack of employer awareness and training. Now, I'm not going to say this for every company. I think every company there's some companies who do a fantastic job with this, but not all of them are up to par on their awareness and training awareness about deaf culture. So many people just don't know what the best communication strategy interacting with deaf people like myself. And so that kind of leads to uncertainty and hesitancy around that. Now, a good company, in my opinion, really would actually take the time and do their training and work with the deaf person, but not everyone does that. So that is still a barrier out there. And I say the fourth one is it's inaccessible recruitment and interview process. So the interview process is obviously nerve-wracking for anyone, but it's so much worse for that person like myself. So, for example, a lot in the interviews right now, they start with the phone screen, okay? Now, for me, I do okay with the phone. However, that's not always the case for everyone. And so just requesting accommodations up front can lead to some uncertainty, hesitancy, or even the recruiter just saying, oh, I'm not sure about this, and we'll just kind of have to move forward from that. And so that also is a bit of a problem as well. Those are the four main reasons why gaining employment as a deaf and hard of hearing person can be difficult. I want to end this video with some words of wisdom that I've learned over the years. And one is always be advocating for yourself. That is the most important thing you can do. Continue to pick up new skills wherever you are, whether in your school, whether you're in the workplace, no matter where you are, just continue to pick up new skills. Always believe in yourself. That's the most important thing. I hope you liked this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel below. Thanks for watching.